What's up, gang? How are you? The attendance tonight was 18,138, sold out. $8.09 million, the highest grossing gate ever at the arena. The fight of the night was Vettori and Allen. Performance of the night, Islam, Gautier, and is that Carly? Yeah. Okay. They all won $50,000. Congrats to them. And it was a tough one between Vettori and Kevin Holland's fight. Yeah. Huh?
And the main event as well.
Huh? Yeah. A good point. Very good point.
We'll start with the main event. Another BMF title fight that lived up to the hype, right? The two guys going there and leaving it all in the octagon. Give us your thoughts on the fight and how it played out.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible fight. I thought going into the last round, the fight was closer than the judges had it, but it lived up to what it was supposed to be. The card did. The card was great.
Fantastic. When you see Max do his point at the ground in the last 10 seconds, is there any part of you that thinks, just as a fight fan, like, you're going to have to stop doing this eventually?
No, I go, oh, hell yeah. Me and my crew were talking about it earlier tonight before we came to the fights. Like, everybody acts like they want to do that shit. They don't want to do it. Max is like the only guy that actually wants to do that. And it's one of the million reasons why people love him.
What did you think when Dustin went for his guillotine at the end of round 2? Similar sort of reaction?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many of those moments in that fight where either guy could have won.
Do you look at Dustin's performance tonight? Because obviously, look, he's competing with one of the best in the world and think to yourself, yeah, maybe he started to slow down towards the end and it's right to walk away? Or do you think, he could probably still fight against these guys and win? Well,
I've been saying that all week. I mean, they're both ranked number 4 and 5 and probably the nastiest division in the sport. But, you know me, when you think you should retire, you probably should.
As far as for Max, right, he's an interesting situation because the champion of his division is the guy he lost to in the other division. So does he have to work a little bit harder to get that rematch back, or do you think a performance like this shoes him right up there?
I think he's in a great position right now. He just defends that BMF title. He's ranked number 4 in the world there, and anything is possible for Max right now.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you think Ilya has done enough to fight Max for the BMF title and the lightweight title at the same time?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, fair enough. What were your thoughts on Kevin Holland and the D-Rod fight? Kind of crazy, kind of a bit sloppy, but very entertaining. Give us your thoughts on that fight.
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. I don't know if I ever saw sloppy, but those were two guys that were absolutely they were in a war. And a couple times I felt like both of them were tired. But they dug deep and fought their asses off. Incredible fight.
Obviously, this week's been a great week.
They didn't win, but they're both going to do really well.
Fair enough. This week's been great in New Orleans. It felt like the city's really sort of vibed well with the UFC. It brought us in and all that sort of stuff. Do you think this could be a venue that we could come back to yearly, like in Miami or Newark or something like that? I
do. That's a great point. This city's incredible. I haven't been here in a long time. It's crazy. I tried to go down on Bourbon Street the other night, and I haven't been on Bourbon Street since me, Frank, and Lorenzo came here to watch the UFC to consider buying it. That was the last time I was on Bourbon Street. I didn't realize that until we came here. But the governor has been amazing. The athletic commission's been incredible. Caesar's Palace has been incredible. I mean, I could go on and on. And the way these people support their own is awesome to see. I love that kind of shit. Yes, we will figure something out here in New Orleans to make sure we come back a lot more than we have been.
Did you buy one of those hand grenade drinks on Bourbon Street?
I didn't make it far on Bourbon Street. I got about 15 steps, and I had to go back and get in the car and leave. So, no, I didn't get a hand grenade drink. Sounds great, though.
Just more on Dustin. He's someone that surely will be in the UFC Hall of Fame at some point down the line, right?
Yeah, listen, this is a kid that, you look at his last 11 fights and who he's fought and, always comes to fight. Good guy to deal with. And, he could be.
And I know you said, if you think you should walk away, you should. But can you respect at least, his reasoning, too, as well? That he's saying, he doesn't want to be one of those guys where the sport retires him and he wants to be able to, attend his daughter's wedding, all these sorts of things later in life.
I don't ever question when a guy says he wants to retire. Other than I think Habib and Cormier are the two guys that I've ever said, I don't know if, it's time. But, yeah, that's totally up to him. This is a rough sport. He fought a rough fight tonight. And, yeah, I mean, the way tonight went, retiring seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Did you score it the same way as the judges? When he walked past press row, he said to me that he thought it was closer than they had.
Who did?
Dustin.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did. I did, too. I just said it when I started the press conference. I thought going into the last round it was a lot closer than they had it.
Yeah, and just a few things outside tonight's event. Next week, we were supposed to have Aaron Pico and Movsar as the co-main in Abu Dhabi. That's obviously off now, and Aaron's saying he wants to fight in Chicago, and there's a spot. And then on the graphic, we saw a co-main event, TBA versus TBA. Is that something, could that fight land on that card, and would it be that spot?
I have no idea. Right here, right now, I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like also future title fights, Kayla Harrison was saying yesterday at our Q&A that she would love for you guys to give Amanda Nunes an exemption from the full 6 months of testing so she can fight her sooner. Is that something you would consider?
I don't know. Definitely look into it.
Cool.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. And obviously the next pay-per-view is Dricus and Hamzat. Just how big is that fight in your mind for the middleweight division? We've been waiting forever to see Hamzat finally compete for a championship.
Yeah, it's big, and it's big to be back in Chicago, sold out. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I got a feeling that's going to be very much like tonight. How about, I can't remember, second round or something. The crowd was so loud that the ref couldn't hear the bell. And, you know what I mean? Went like another 5 seconds longer than it should have. But, yeah, I expect Chicago to be that way too.
And I know you've got a lot of questions about the White House card potentially. Conor McGregor has said he's back in the pool with hopes of potentially fighting on that like a year from now. And then Nate Diaz said he would love to be the opponent. I know you've said that trilogy is something you could do anytime and it would make sense. Are you interested in doing business with Nate Diaz?
I love Nate. That fight's a year away. So I'm not even thinking about anything right now. The landscape will change so much by next 4th of July. You know, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to be on the card or what the main event will be or who will hold all the titles, and everything could be completely different. So it's not even worth thinking about it right now.
Sure. I guess just one follow-up on that, though, with John Jones. He said
I have other problems. I'm dealing with the logistics and you know, all the things on figuring out how to make this thing happen. How do we want to do it? I'm going to fly out there in about 10 days, 2 weeks, and we'll have all the renderings done, sit down with him and go through the renderings and see what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, John Jones says he wants to be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is at that time. But would you be okay with him like coming back and potentially winning that belt again? And you might have to go through.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, you know how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, especially the White House card.
Dana, just seeing how this city and this arena reacted to not just Poirier, but the other fighters from Louisiana, how special was that for you?
Oh, it's always great. I mean, every time we go somewhere and the fans love what's going on, it's a hell of a night for me.
Dana, just one quick one. This week you had Power Slap piggybacking with the UFC here in New Orleans. It was the first time that Power Slap had left New Orleans or Vegas, other than going out to the Middle East. So it seemed like it brought a great culture. Had a great time out there last night. The fans loved it. What was that like out here this week?
It was a great weekend for us here, yeah. And I'm glad this is where we brought it first. And that arena was like it was built for Power Slap. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. The fights were incredible, and yeah, it was a home run. So I'm really happy about the entire weekend here in New Orleans.
Do you think that once you get Power Slap kind of on the road officially like that, maybe almost every pay-per-view will have a Power Slap card to go with it?
I don't know. My game plan with that, for those of you that have come and seen it live, it's like the UFC in the early days. You know, half the battle for me was getting people into the live event because nobody would come to a live event and go, yeah, I don't ever want to come to one of these again. And that never happens with Power Slap. It's the exact opposite. Everybody who comes to Power Slap goes, wow, this is way better than I expected it to be, and it's a great live event. So the game plan is exactly the same. Move it around the country, take it everywhere, and let people come experience it live. Thank you.
Dana, you had mentioned about New Orleans and everything like that. we have, we had, of course, Dustin. Earlier we had Brendan Allen. We had Carly Judiz. What can you say about these Louisiana fighters that you have right now?
What can I say about them?
Yeah.
We like them. They're great. Tonight was a huge success. The obviously the gate, the buzz, the energy in this town, and everything. I mean, it couldn't have been better. And everybody showed up and put on a great performance. So, yeah, very happy.
Just one quick, maybe stupid one for me. I always notice the Power Slap solo cup there. What does Dana White drink in that power? I see.
Lots of different things.
What's in that post fight?
Right now, it's Coke Zero. Yeah.
Dana over here.
Yep.
Just one. Two fan favorites in the lightweight division, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. They both lost to the champion. Ilya, are you open to doing a Max Holloway-Charles Oliveira fight for the BMF belt?
Anything's possible. I like his idea. I like your idea. The great thing about that division is there's so many incredible fights that you can do. You have Ilya, who's the champion. You got him with a BMF belt, and there's a lot of things we can do.
Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
Dana, just one for me about the White House card. Do you expect the logistics to be more intense than the Sphere was, or do you think it's going to be easier than?
No. Not the Spheres. Listen, there's been one person that's done the Sphere, right? I thought after we did it, people would be running to the Sphere to do it. The Sphere is very challenging and very expensive. The difference with the White House is that I don't think they've ever had anything very heavy out on the lawn, and the octagon alone weighs 20,000 pounds. So,
you don't think the outdoor is going to be harder to deal with than?
Oh, it will be, in its own ways, but not harder than the Sphere.
Okay.
Sphere is very unique and very challenging.
Hey, Dana, I have a question right here.
Yep.
What do you think about Islam Dulatov's performance? He's a huge star in Germany. The UFC hasn't been in Germany since 2016. What do you think about the performance? And when is the UFC coming back to Germany? The fans are waiting. Everybody is going crazy. When is the UFC coming back to Germany?
What do you think about Islam Dulatov, his performance? He's a huge star in Germany. UFC has not been to Germany since 2016. When are we coming back to Germany?
Yeah, that's a great question, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, obviously he won a performance bonus, so he obviously did great tonight. But Germany's interesting, and we had a run there where we were heading to Germany all the time, like you said. And I don't know the answer to that question, but yeah.
Second question, Dana, does it make you proud to see someone like Dustin and Max? They have over 60 combined fights in the UFC. Does it make you proud to even you grew up with them together and see how far they come? They always performed, always made weight. Does it make you proud to have two fighters like that on the roster?
Yeah, I mean that's why. That's why. All of you guys and myself and if you look at the way we celebrated him tonight on television, you guys probably didn't see it, but if you see a lot of stuff, even Mark Zuckerberg had posted about, how we told the story of Dustin Poirier tonight. We have a lot of respect for him, proud of him, and same thing with Max.
Is there a favorite moment in Dustin's career? Maybe a story that we don't know, or like a favorite fight, a moment of Dustin's career?
Off the top of my head, he's had a badass, unbelievable career and has accomplished a lot of things. But off the top of my head, there's not one moment that stands out, no.
And last question for me, how big is the possibility that we ever see a podcast on Joe Rogan, you, Joe Rogan, and Conor McGregor?
Probably never. Probably never.
Thank you, Dana. Great
right.
show tonight.
Thank you.
Dana, I want to go back to the early prelims. Jimmy Crute called out Dustin Jacoby. We know Dustin's out with a hand injury, obviously, but he kind of teased about Dustin kind of teased about November 30th down for the challenge. Those two guys, Jimmy performed well tonight. What kind of matchup would that look like?
Right here, right now. Again, I don't even think about this shit at the end of the night. We'll take the weekend, and on Tuesday we do matchmaking, and we start to talk about what's next and what we want to do and what we don't want to do. I really don't think about that stuff tonight. Go ahead.
Dana, now that Dustin's career is said and done, what do you want people to take away from not just his career, but also the growth that he had from the time that he started up to now?
Yeah, well, like I said, I think tonight, we celebrated Dustin, on the broadcast, and then to have the fight here in front of his people, and they showed up, and they made the event really fun tonight. My girl Amber was saying to me, I was already in the back room, and she said not one person has left this arena when he was still out there talking. That's pretty special. I mean, you guys know you've done enough fights. Before Rogan even gets up into the octagon, half the place is gone. So the fact that they all stayed for him tonight, showed up for him tonight, broke the arena record tonight, the list goes on and on. A big night for him.
Thank you, Dana.
Dana, over here. One question, Dana.
Yep.
Over here, back here.
Yep.
Do you think it played a factor that Dustin announced the retirement? Because it kind of seemed like just the emotions, everything that he went through kind of played a factor early on in that fight. Do you think that played a factor early on in the fight for him?
Do I think that because he announced
the emotions he went through during the week, people sending him cards and all the things, the reception he got, do you think that kind of played a factor, just kind of making him emotional in early on in that fight?
You'll have to ask him when he gets in here. I don't know, but I would imagine it was hard for him not to be emotional. I mean, even when he was saying earlier, what if he had won? Would he come back? Would he, I think that when you do what these guys do, and you come here and this is your last fight ever, and you walk out of that tunnel and you get the reception that you get at the end of a round that you did well, the place is so loud, the ref can't even hear the bell, and shit like that, it's got to be so hard to walk away from this and the feeling that you get from it. So I'm sure it was very emotional. It's probably going to be emotional for him for the next week.
Just one more. Could you, obviously don't expect you to mention any names, but if another fighter who you thought in the same regard as Dustin came to you and said, I want to do a retirement fight in my hometown, would you try to effort on doing something like this again?
Well, we always try to, there's guys who, start to work their way up and then want to fight in their hometowns. Some guys who become big don't want anything to do with fighting in their hometowns. There's a lot of different feelings about it. But, yeah, I mean, we always try to figure stuff out if guys want it, but it's not always possible to say, okay, we'll give you a retirement fight in your hometown and you don't have the title, or, you could do a fight night or something like that. But, yeah, we would always try to do it.
Yeah, a lot of stars got to align. I don't know if you were asked about Patricio Pitbull, 2 fights in. What do you think of what he's done here?
What was the question?
Patricio Pitbull.
Yeah.
What do you think of his win tonight and just what he's 1-1 so far in the UFC?
I mean, it's tough to come to the UFC and it's a lot of pressure. I don't care how many times you fought and what you've done. It's a different vibe when you come here, and yeah. Cool. Thanks. Have a good night, and thank you, New Orleans. It was awesome.